Hi everybody, welcome to the back half of our 7th mission in our 9-mission campaign with By Stealth and Sea from DVG Games. Now when we last left our heroes, we had lost one crew already. I know. But on a positive note, we have Walice and Lille underneath their cargo ship target. We have Crema and Parquera very close to their target. Our historical counterparts scored 9 points on this mission. We've got 0 so far. So we need to pick up some points in the rest of this mission if we're going to have any chance to catch and pass them over our last 2 missions in this campaign. Let's get back to Algiers Harbor. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We've got 3 hours left to do some damage. Here's a picture of Algiers Harbor at 3 a.m. on the 12th of December 1942. Now we have Walice and Lille aboard SLC number 1 underneath their target, the Empire Centaur. With luck, they'll be able to detach their warhead, ignite their warhead, and get out alive. Custard and Parquera are approaching their targets on a little bit to the north of where Walice and Lille are. They're boarding SLC number 3. Let's now get started with our 3:30 a.m. turn to see what fault we have. Now hopefully here we'll get a 2 because that SLC with Liam and McNeely has already been taken out of action. Ooh, it's 1. So this will be Walice and Lille, not quite what we were looking for to start this round off. So let's see what breaks on Walice and Lille's SLC. Oh, this is not good. The battery fault. Now they've already lost 50% of their battery's function. Their repair check is a 4, 5, or a 6. Hopefully, this is a huge roll because if they can't fix their battery, they can't move anymore. We need a 4, 5, or 6. Yes, excellent. They get a 6. They survive that fault. Now let's go take our actions in the harbor. SLC 1, Walice and Lille have a very simple action. They are going to detach their warhead from their SLC and prepare to blow up the Empire Centaur in the next turn. Custard and Parquera, actually last time we had talked about having them head here for the Armatan, which would have been a good idea except for the fact that I realized afterwards that this space is right in front of the torpedo nets. So if they were to go there, they're going to get hit by those deadly mortars. So instead, we're going to have them try to head over here for the Berto, which is another 2-point cargo ship just to the south. That way they won't get hit by mortars as they approach. Now, they've also got a broken warhead, so we're going to have them first spend their whole turn here now to repair the warhead. So off camera, I'm taking away their warhead fault, and I'm putting the warhead back onto their card so that they're going to be okay with a functional warhead in the next turn. Now it's time for the enemy's reaction. Alrighty, as always, we start with the searchlights. Now, we need an 11 for them to be able to spot us. Oh, that's not what we were hoping. Spotlights pick out Walice and Lille underneath the Empire Centaur. That's not good. We're going to have to reshuffle the deck and do the next round. Alrighty, Parquera and Custard are up next, hoping for a low number from them, a 5. That's what we kind of needed. So no spotlights detect them. Now we go to our underwater dive teams, but because the Walice and Lille have already been spotted, that's all the dive teams do, so we don't draw any card for them. Now we have to go to our patrol craft response. So, Walice and Lille are submerged, but they are detected. So an 8 or greater would bring a patrol craft on them. Be really nice if this doesn't happen. A 2. Oh, the lowest card in the deck. Excellent. So fortunately, that will give us another turn to act. That might be just the thing that saves us. Now, let's see what happens with the patrol craft for Custard and Parquera. A 6. They are okay as well. So that's good. That ends the detection phase now. There's nothing else going on, and there are no patrol craft in the harbor. So let's go now to see what fault we have in our 4 a.m. turn here. Again, hoping for a 2 because that would be just a negated here, and we get it. Excellent. So let's go to our actions now at 4 a.m. So this is simple. Walice and Lille are going to spend their entire actions here to detonate their warhead, which blows up the Empire Centaur and removes it from action. We've gotten 2 victory points, and now what we're going to try to do is to get Walice and Lille out. But that's their entire action for this turn. Okay, we want to get Parquera and Custard over here to the Berto. So what we're going to do is we're going to have them spend 1 action point to move onto to move forward 1. Then we're going to have them spend their second action point to try to make a maneuver. They'll need a 4, 5, or 6 to succeed at it. They get a 4. Excellent move, gentlemen. So, Custard and Parkera are pointed right at their target. They're underneath a cargo ship. Now it's time for the enemy phase. So for the searchlight phase, Waliche and Lille have already been spotted, but the searchlights will try to find Custard and Parkera. They get a 9, which isn't quite good enough, so they stay undetected. Now we go to our underwater dive team. Because Custard and Parkera are underneath a cargo ship, the dive teams do come into the water and look for us. Now they need an 11 or greater. They're not super effective. They get an 8, which means they don't spot us. Now it's time for the patrol craft response. We're going to go to Waliche and Lille, hoping that we can buy some time here because they have an 8 or greater would detect us. We're submerged and we're submerged but detected. A 9. Oh, so patrol craft number 1 comes out of the harbor here and comes right in front. I got to check to see where this appears because the space in front of them is blocked. I'll do that off camera in a second here. Now let's get to see what the patrol craft response is for Custard and Parkera. An 8. They are safe. So that's going to bring us to the end of the 4 a.m. turn. So checking the rules here, this patrol, because it can't appear in the space in front of them, it appears on the space with them, and then it is ready for now for the 4:30 a.m. turn. So things getting a little bit dangerous here for Waliche and Lille. Let's go to our 4:30 a.m. turn now and see how we look for breakage here. Hoping, again, for SLC 2 on this one. We get a 1. That's Waliche and Lille. It's getting a little bit dangerous here. I'm getting nervous. Alrighty, Waliche and Lille, what breaks now? Wetsuit fault. Oh no, not the wetsuit fault. This is because if it fails, they get stunned immediately, and if it gets stunned, they won't have time to escape, and things are starting to get really ugly. And they can't scuttle because there's a patrol craft in their hex. They can't escape detection because they have to move to escape detection. We need them to be able to fix this. If they don't fix it, we're going to use our breathing gear token to try again. 4, 5, or 6. 5. Excellent. We dodged that bullet. Now let's go to our actions in the 4:30 a.m. turn. All right, so Waliche and Lille are going to have to, they can't scuttle because there's a patrol craft in their same area. So we're going to have them try to turn and move away and get out of this area. So they're going to try to execute a maneuver. Because of their piloting skill, they can roll 2 dice. They need a 4, 5, or 6 on one of them. Oh, they get double 5s. Excellent. We're going to actually have them point completely out to sea here so that they can try to get away into open space. Now, they're going to try to move ahead 1. Oh, they can automatically move ahead 1, which is good because we could have a pilot skill to move 2, but then if they fail, they stay where they are. So rather than do that, we're just going to have them automatically move 1 hex ahead, and that will lose the detection. That's good. Okay, now let's go back to Custard and Parkera. So Custard and Parkera are going to move 1 hex forward and move underneath the Berto here. And now they have 1 action point left. They can try to detach their warhead. Detaching a warhead is a roll that they have to make on operational skills. They need a 4, 5, or 6 to succeed. That would mean they could blow up the target in the next turn. Let's get it, guys. Yes, excellent. We're rolling pretty well today. So Crema and Parkera have detached their warhead and they're ready to detonate it in the next half hour. Before we get there though, let's see the enemy response. All right, here we go. These are big detection responses, especially for Waliche and Lille, who already have a patrol craft nearby, hoping the spotlights don't get us. 5, they stay safe from the spotlights. Now we go to the spotlights for Crema and Parkera. They need less than an 11. They get a 6. These are good cards. Now we go to the underwater dive team. Waliche and Lille no longer have a ship near them, so there's no Frogmen that are looking for them. However, the Frogmen are looking for Crema and Parkera, who are underneath their target. They need an 11 or greater to find us. They get a 6, which means they fail. We're getting a lot of low cards here, which is good, but that also means there's high ones left. The more important response here is the patrol craft response. Now we're submerged and undetected, so they need a 10 or greater. For whatever reason, I feel like This is a 10 or greater. I don't know why, I just feel like it is. It's a 6. I'm so glad I was totally wrong. Walliche and Lille are undetected. Now, this patrol craft could move randomly on top of them. That is a factor, so they're not necessarily safe yet. But if it doesn't, they can try to scuttle and escape in the next turn. Let's see what happens with Parkera and Crema, however, as they have patrol craft looking for them as well. They get a 7, another good card. We stay undetected in the 4:30 turn. We go to our 5 a.m. turn. Let's see which one of our SLCs breaks. All right, first we're hoping for another 2 here. That would be good. Excellent, we get a 2 because SLC 2 doesn't exist. We get no breakage. Now it goes to our actions in the 5 a.m. turn. So it's 5 a.m. It's time for Walliche and Lille to scuttle. They are going to scuttle their SLC and use all of their action points. That gives us another victory point and puts them floating in the water here, trying to make their way back to safe harbors. Now, I didn't realize that there was a -2 die roll modifier for the harbor of Algiers. So we have a little bit of a problem, but they do have a breathing gear token, and it's 5 a.m. or earlier, and they're not stunned. So normally it would be a 4, 5, or 6 to save themselves. However, with those bonuses, it's actually a 2 or greater, but because it's Algiers, it goes back to a 4 or greater. So they have one roll. They need a 4, 5, or 6 to save themselves. If they fail, we can use the breathing gear token to try once more, but that would be a 5 or a 6. So we need a 4, 5, or 6 here. Oh, excellent, very good work. So Walliche and Lille have escaped into the night, and they are survived, scuttled their craft, and sunk another ship, their second in consecutive missions. That gives us 4 victory points from their actions. Now let's go over to Parkera and Custard. Crema and Parkera are going to take a relatively straightforward action. They're going to use all of their action points, and they're going to detonate the warhead. That takes the Berto, to the bottom of the harbor and gives us another 2 victory points. All they have to do now is to survive. Let's see the enemy's reaction. Now we're hoping we don't get detected here, because if we don't get detected, on the next turn, they can scuttle and escape into the night, or make their attempt to escape into the night. However, the odds are not necessarily with them here because they lost their breathing gear tokens already. Let's see what happens here. 11 or greater for the searchlights to spot them. Ooh, that was close, but they don't. 10. Now we need the no underwater dive team because they blew the frogmen up, apparently. Patrol craft response. They are submerged, so we need a 10 or greater for the patrol craft to spot them. Hoping for something low, a 7. We are not spotted. So now we're going to go to the 5:30 a.m. turn. Oh, this is grim, though, because the odds are they're going to get captured. I hate to say it. The odds are they're going to get captured. But first, before we do that, let's see what SLC has a fault. Hoping for a 2 or a 3 here. A 2. Excellent. So we have no faults. Now it is our actions here in the 5:30 a.m. turn. Relatively straightforward. Crema and Parkera are going to scuttle their SLC. That gives us another victory point. However, let's figure out what the odds are for their escape into the night. All right, so normally we need a 4, 5, or 6 to get out and escape. However, it's 5:30 in the morning now, so we've lost the +1 modifier for that, which means we don't get that. We get +1 because Crema and Parkera are not stunned. They are readied. So that means we need a 3, 4, 5, or 6 to do so. However, we have some negative modifiers. Because the breathing gear is not on their card, they get -1 on this escape, which means we now need a 4, 5, or 6 to escape. And because it's Algiers, we have to subtract 2 more from the die roll, which means that Crema and Parkera need a lonely 6 to escape the harbor into the night. Anything except a 6, and they have no breathing tokens to re-roll this. A 6 is the only thing that doesn't have them get captured and spend the rest of their rest of the war in a British prisoner of war camp. 1 in 6 chance. Crema and Parkera, are you feeling lucky? Let's see what happens. Die roll gods, save us now. Well, that was unfortunate. So Custard and Parkera have an outstanding first mission. They sink the Berto and yet are captured by British security forces as they try to make their way back to safety. Thank you for your service. We hope you enjoy English food for the next 3.5 years of the war here. So how did we do? Well, Liam and McNeely barely made it 100 yards before all kinds of things went wrong with their SLC, and for whatever reason, their neon yellow camouflage didn't work very well as they got spotted by searchlights and patrol craft and depth charge before we even got an hour and a half into their mission. We have lost them. They were killed in action. Crema and Parkera managed to sink the Berto, giving us 2 victory points. They also managed to scuttle their SLC, giving us a 3rd victory point. However, they were captured and will spend the rest of the war in a British prisoner of war camp. Walice and Lille once again perform astoundingly, approaching their target and sinking the Empire Centaur, giving us 2 points for the sinkage. Then they scuttled and escaped once again, which gives us an additional 2 points, meaning that on this mission we have 7 points. How are we doing against history, you might ask? Well, we were losing to history by 4 points coming into this mission. Our historical counterparts got 9 points. We got 7 points. So with 2 missions to go, we are losing to history by 6 points. Can we make up the gap? I'll put a link here to our next episode. Our 8th mission will start shortly. 2 missions to go. We're heading back to Gibraltar. Thanks everybody for tuning in.